what fear wants? It wants you to freeze, hesitate, and give up. But here's the truth. Fear is nothing but a story you tell yourself, a story you have the power to rewrite. Right now, someone in this room is one decision away from the life they've dreamed of, but fear is whispering, not yet. Today, we're going to turn that not yet into right now. By the end of this speech, you will know exactly how to crush fear under your feet, how to turn fear into your greatest ally, and how to live a life so bold, fear itself will tremble at the sound of your name. If you're ready to leave your excuses behind and step into a version of yourself you didn't even know existed, stay with me. Because today isn't just a speech. It's a turning point. 1, fear is the greatest thief of dreams. Fear doesn't just want to slow you down. It wants to stop you altogether. Think about it. How many times have you let fear decide your future? How many opportunities have you let slip because fear told you you're not ready? Your heroes felt fear too. The athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders you admire, every single one of them faced fear. But here's the secret. They didn't wait for the fear to disappear. They acted in spite of it. Fear is a green light. The very thing you're afraid of might be the sign you're headed in the right direction. Fear is proof that what you're chasing is worth it. Confidence is built, not born. Stop waiting to feel ready. Confidence doesn't come before action. It's built through it. Every time you face fear and push forward, you're proving to yourself that you're unstoppable. You are stronger than your fears. Think about your toughest moment, the time you thought you wouldn't make it. And yet here you are. If you survive that, you can conquer this. Discomfort, embrace discomfort. The comfort zone is the most dangerous place you can live. Growth lives outside of it. Fear is temporary, regret is forever. Picture yourself years from now, looking back on your life. Would you rather live with the pain of fear today or the pain of regret tomorrow? 8, your comfort zone isn't your friend. The only person keeping you from the life you want is the one in the mirror. Stop being your own biggest obstacle. Fear will always be there. It's part of the human experience. But the power to control how it shapes your life, that's all yours. Fear nothing, because the life you want, the person you're meant to be, is waiting on the other side of that fear. It's time to stop waiting and start moving. The future is watching and is asking you one question. Will you fear nothing? Let me know if you'd like to adjust anything. Bad boy! Fear doesn't just slow you down. It's the silent force that keeps you trapped, convincing you that staying where you are is safer than reaching for what you want. Think about how many moments in your life were stolen by hesitation. How many dreams did you set aside because fear whispered, what if you fail? Fear thrives on your doubts, magnifies your insecurities, and creates walls where there should be doors. But here's the truth. Fear isn't real. It's a projection, a story your mind creates to protect you from the unknown. It's not the situation itself that holds you back. It's how you perceive it. Fear magnifies the risk and minimizes the reward, making you believe the stakes are higher than they really are. And yet the people who achieve greatness, the ones who push the boundaries, aren't fearless. They've simply learned to see fear for what it really is, an invitation to rise. Imagine all the things you could accomplish if fear weren't in the equation. If every what if became why not? If every doubt turned into a reason to move forward instead of a reason to hold back. The greatest loss isn't failing, it's never trying. Fear wants to rob you of that chance. It wants to keep you in the shadows, dreaming of the light, but never stepping into it. He said, today is your moment to decide, will you let fear steal one more opportunity, or will you finally take back what's yours? Because once you realize that fear is nothing more than an illusion, you'll discover that it holds no real power over you. And when that happens, nothing can stand in your way. Fear, every person you look up to, the ones breaking records, building empires, and living lives that seem untouchable, has felt the same fear you do. The difference, they didn't let it stop them. Fear isn't selective. It doesn't care who you are or where you're from. It shows up for everyone, whispering the same doubts. What if you're not good enough? What if you fail? What if it all falls apart? But here's the truth they won't tell you. The people who succeed aren't fearless. They're just brave enough to act in spite of the fear. They didn't wait for the fear to disappear because they knew it wouldn't. They moved forward anyway. Think about that for a moment. The athlete stepping up to take the game-winning shot feels the pressure. The entrepreneur risking it all on a bold idea knows the odds. And the leader making a life-changing decision understands the weight of responsibility. Fear is right there with them. But they push through because they know what's waiting on the other side is worth it. You are no different from them. The same courage they found is inside you, waiting to be unleashed. The only question is, will you let fear paralyze you, or will you let it propel you? Because the truth is, fear isn't the enemy, it's the starting line. Every time you feel it, it's a signal that you're standing at the edge of something great. Fear often feels like a barrier, but what if I told you it's actually a signal, a green light disguised as a red one? Fear shows up when you're on the verge of something important, something that could change your life forever. The reason you feel it isn't because you're incapable, it's because what you're facing matters. Think about it. Fear doesn't show up when you're coasting or playing it safe. It's not there when you're staying within your comfort zone or living below your potential. It's only when you're about to step into something bigger than yourself that fear tries to pull you back. Fear says, stay here. Don't take the risk. But what it really means is you're on the right track. The greatest moments of growth, the breakthroughs that transform your life, are always found on the other side of fear. It's like a gatekeeper standing between you and the life you're meant to live. Most people see fear and stop, but the ones who push through, who take one more step despite the trembling in their hearts, are the ones who discover that fear wasn't a barrier at all, it was a bridge. What if you started looking at fear as a compass? What if every time you felt it, you chose to lean in instead of backing away? The truth is, fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to point you toward the exact place you're supposed to go. The moment you understand this, fear loses its power and your potential becomes limitless. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Too many people sit on the sidelines of their own lives, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready. But here's the secret. You don't need confidence to start. You need action. Confidence is the result of showing up, of trying, of proving to yourself that you're capable, not the prerequisite. Think about the first time you tried something new. Maybe it was riding a bike, speaking in public, or starting a new job. You didn't feel ready. You probably doubted yourself, but you did it anyway. And after you push through the initial fear, what happened? Confidence started to grow. Not because the fear disappeared, but because you proved to yourself that you could handle it. Every step you take in the face of fear builds a foundation of confidence. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting while you're afraid. Confidence is forged in those moments when you doubt yourself, but move forward anyway. Each time you do, you send a message to yourself, I can do this. The people you admire, the ones who seem unshakable, they weren't born with that confidence. They earned it through experience, through failure, through persistence. They kept showing up, kept pushing, and with every step, their belief in themselves grew stronger. Have that same ability. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the right feeling. Confidence will never knock on your door and invite itself in. You have to go out and earn it. And the only way to earn it is by taking action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because confidence isn't found, it's built. One courageous step at a time. Fear has a way of making you feel small, powerless, and stuck. But let me remind you of something. You've already faced battles in your life that felt impossible at the time. You've walked through fire and come out stronger. The truth is, you're already more powerful than your fears. You just need to tap into that strength. Think back to a moment when you thought, I can't do this. Maybe it was a challenge that seemed insurmountable, a situation where you felt completely out of your depth. And yet, you found a way. You made it through. That wasn't luck. That was you. That was the strength inside you rising up, proving that you're capable of handling more than you think. Fear tries to convince you that you're weak, but every tough moment you've survived is proof that you're stronger than fear. You've been through heartbreak, failure, and disappointment. You've faced uncertainty and pushed through. If you can handle all of that, why would you let fear stop you now? The power to overcome isn't something you need to find. It's already within you. It's in the choices you've made, the resilience you've built, and the courage you've shown time and time again. Fear wants you to forget who you are. But I'm here to remind you, you're a fighter. You've already won battles that fear couldn't stop. And you're ready to win battles that fear couldn't stop. And you're ready to win this one too. The next time fear whispers you can't, let your history remind you, you already have, and you'll do it again. Discomfort is the price of growth, yet so many people avoid it, clinging to the illusion of safety that their comfort zone provides. But here's the reality. Comfort doesn't lead to greatness. It keeps you stagnant. If you want something extraordinary, you have to be willing to embrace what's uncomfortable, because that's where the magic happens. Think about it. Every time you've achieved something meaningful in your life, it probably started with a moment of discomfort. Maybe it was stepping into a new role, taking a leap of faith, or challenging yourself in ways you never had before. It wasn't easy. It stretched you, pushed you, maybe even scared you. But it also made you stronger, wiser, and more capable. Discomfort isn't a punishment. It's a sign that you're stepping into new territory. It's proof that you're growing. You don't get stronger by lifting the same weight every day. You have to increase the resistance. The same is true for your life. The greater the discomfort, the greater the opportunity for transformation. The problem is, most people let discomfort push them back instead of pulling them forward. They feel the resistance and think this isn't for me, when the truth is that resistance is exactly what they need. Success doesn't come to those who avoid discomfort. It comes to those who embrace it, who lean into it, who understand that every ounce of pain is an investment in their future. So ask yourself, are you willing to trade a little discomfort today for the life you want tomorrow? Because the life you're dreaming of isn't waiting for you in your comfort zone. It's waiting for you on the other side of it. Fear is temporary, but regret stays with you. It lingers in the quiet moments, whispering, what if? And why didn't you? Fear might feel overwhelming in the moment, but it fades as soon as you take action. Regret, though, has a way of carving itself into your memory, a constant reminder of what you could have done but didn't. Think about the times fear held you back, the opportunity you let pass, the conversation you avoided, the dream you didn't chase because fear told you, not now, it's too risky. In the moment, saying no might have felt like relief, like safety. But how did it feel afterward? Did the safety outweigh the disappointment? Now imagine yourself years from now looking back on your life. Do you want to see a story of bold decisions and daring leaps, or a list of missed opportunities and unrealized potential? Fear might hurt in the short term, but regret cuts deeper and lasts longer. The pain of failure fades, but the pain of not trying stays. Here's the thing, fear will always be there. It's part of being human. But regret is the result of letting fear win. And when you realize that, you understand something powerful. You have a choice. You can face the fear now and move forward, or you can avoid it and carry the weight of what could have been for the rest of your life. The moment you choose action over avoidance, fear starts to lose its grip. And with every step forward, you'll discover something incredible. The pain of trying is nothing compared to the joy of knowing you gave it everything you had. Fear is fleeting, but the satisfaction of living without regret lasts forever. Your comfort zone is the most dangerous place you can be. It might feel safe, but it's not where dreams are built. It's not where growth happens. In fact, the longer you stay in your comfort zone, the more it shrinks, limiting what you believe is possible for yourself. Comfort tricks you into thinking you're secure, but the truth is, it's holding you back. Every time you choose to stay where it's easy, you're saying no to your potential. You're letting fear and complacency dictate your future. And here's the scary part. The more you settle, the more your comfort zone becomes a cage, a place where your dreams go to die. But here's the good news. The moment you step out, even just a little, everything begins to change. That's because growth only happens in the space where you're challenged, where you're stretched, where things feel uncomfortable. It's in those moments of uncertainty and struggle that you discover what you're really capable of. The world outside your comfort zone is bigger, brighter, and full of opportunities you can't even imagine yet. But to see it, you have to make the choice to leave what feels safe behind. Will it be scary? Absolutely. But the discomfort is temporary, and the rewards are life-changing. So ask yourself, are you going to stay in the same place, living the same life day after day? Or are you willing to step out, take the risk, and see what's waiting for you on the other side? Because outside of your comfort zone is where life really begins. Life begins, at the edge of your comfort zone. Everything you've ever wanted, the dreams you've envisioned, the success you've craved, the person you've always known you could be exists just beyond the line where most people stop. And that's the thing. Most people never cross it. They stay in the familiar, convincing themselves it's good enough, even when deep down, they know they're meant for more. What you don't realize is that your comfort zone isn't a boundary, it's a choice. Every day, you decide whether to stay within its walls or to step out into the unknown. The problem is, fear makes the unknown look like a threat, when in reality, it's an invitation. It's an open door to growth, opportunity, and the life you've been too afraid to claim. The truth is, nothing worth having comes without risk. You can't reach new heights if you're not willing to climb. You can't discover new strengths if you're not willing to be tested. And you can't live the life of your dreams if you're not willing to lead the life of your comfort. Every time you take a step outside your comfort zone, you expand it. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. The fears that once held you back lose their power. And with every step forward, you're becoming the person you were always meant to be. The only thing standing between you and your best life is a line you've drawn yourself. But here's the beautiful thing. You can erase it. You can choose to push past it. You can choose to embrace the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the challenges, because that's where the magic happens. And once you take that first step, you'll wonder why you ever stayed in the zone where nothing grows. The only thing standing between you and the life you've always dreamed of is the fear you refuse to confront. Think about it. Every goal, every aspiration, every desire you have is on the other side of the fear you're avoiding. And yet, too many people let that fear decide their fate. They let it dictate their actions, their choices, and ultimately their entire future. But here's the reality. Fear doesn't have the power to control you unless you give it that power. Every time you allow fear to take the lead, you're choosing to live in the shadow of your potential. You're letting fear be the gatekeeper of your dreams, and that's a decision you can change in an instant. The truth is, fear is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to go. Every successful person you admire has faced the same fear you feel right now. The difference is, they chose to face it head on. They didn't let fear write their story. They took control and wrote their own. You have that same power. You can choose to stop letting fear stop you. You can choose to take the first step, no matter how small, toward your goals. Every time you do, fear becomes a little less intimidating, a little less powerful. And with each action you take, you build the momentum that will carry you through to success. So ask yourself, what's more painful? Facing your fear and stepping into the unknown, or living with the regret of never having tried? The path to the life you want is right in front of you. And the only thing that can stop you is the fear you refuse to conquer. But once you face it, you'll realize that the only thing you were ever afraid of was the incredible power you already hold inside you.